What's up, Maniacs? My name is Max. I'm a wrestling fan, wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And we are back, myself and Gigi. We're going through the 5 things that we learned from AEW Dynamite last night. Gigi, what are you saying, bro?
All good. Pleasure to be here yet again on one of my favorite channels in the world. And another solid Dynamite.
It was. And we're beginning to set up stories for All Out, 4th of September, which is exciting. Almost like the big pay-per-view. You always feel like they're about to pull something out the bag when it's an all-out season. In terms of matches, they half announced the match in terms of Eddie Kingston saying that he wants Sammy Guevara. I can't say that I care. I think this is a backwards move for Eddie Kingston. If anything, he's in some type of holding pattern. I know they've obviously got previous, but
the only thing I would say though is like people really despise Sammy Guevara at the moment, and like if we want to send someone out to beat this like nasty dick of a heel, like why not let it be like our hero Eddie Kingston? Do you know what I mean? So I do get it, and I liked the I tweeted it out again today. So he did a signing recently. I don't know if you saw where he was just going through like the whole roster. They was asking him, and it was a week or so ago, and he's like, kayfabe or shoot, who knows with Eddie, and he's just literally going, I hate Sammy Guevara. Like I really hate him. I don't like the guy. So and now we're just seeing it unfold on TV. So that's good, man. I liked it.
He killed me with Sammy. Heard you got engaged. Congratulations. Nobody cares.
But even like just the little touches that Eddie does, man, when he's got the earpiece in and he's talking, like he just like acknowledges the production.
He
crew,
had
man.
Nothing in his ear. I was laughing.
I know, yeah.
He had absolutely nothing in his ear. It was like, yeah. I want more for him. Like especially while he's on this upward trajectory, they're probably waiting for Punk to come back or something like that. I don't know, but
maybe
I right now this Sammy Guevara thing's like he's in a holding pattern with JAS. We've had a lot of man Danny Garcia, and now it's this and Jericho. So
I mean, him and Sammy haven't had a one-on-one, so I forgive it slightly, but I completely get what you're saying when like it just seems like this same like Jericho's crew. People just get stuck in that like cloud and just can't escape.
In a circle, and now it's this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, like we say, this 5 things we learned from AEW Dynamite. We'll go through the 5 things shortly, but before we do, you guys know what to do. Hit a like on the video because you're gonna enjoy this one, and of course, GG on wrestling, got his own channel. It's in the description, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to start with, I guess, the headline, the big story coming out from the show. And this was one of your picks of what we learned from this week. That the Elite are slowly reforming. So, obviously, we saw what the Undisputed side of the Elite did. They basically said, well, a couple of us, man, are out injured and can't partake in the tournament. If you guys don't want to take Bobby Fish on in your team, you're not going to partake in the tournament.
Why? But why did he say that? So, like, as if it was just like the assumption, like, nah, you don't want Bobby. Like, you don't want Bobby. Like, nobody wants Bobby Fish. They didn't even say nothing. He's like, well, if you're not going to choose Bob, no, you haven't even given us the chance
given us
to choose
a chance.
Yeah.
It was very he didn't really put over Bobby very well, but we all know that Bobby wouldn't ever be the third man in a team with the Young Bucks. It wouldn't happen. So they laid them out. They laid out the Young Bucks. Adam Page comes to make the save. Big pop. Clears the ring. Well, they scatter before he gets his hands on them. And he helps up Matt Jackson. Just little look between them, him, Nick, Brandon, and he gets out of the ring and makes his own way up the ramp. So their side of the story is clearly coming back together somewhat. He will probably be the third man in their tag team. Whilst the Undisputed Elite, the Undisputed side, have clearly made that strong division now. Like, you know, we're not mates anymore, sort of thing. Adam Cole screaming at Matt Jackson, I came here for you. I came here because of you, and all of that kind of stuff, it was really good. What was your thoughts on this before I get into my critique of it?
One question I want to ask you before I get into that. Do you think this should have closed the show?
I did think the placing of it was weird. Maybe they just wanted to give Jericho's, or obviously Jericho and Yuta puts on a brilliant match. So maybe they just wanted
and
to.
And it's obviously for the world title contendership.
Exactly.
I hear, but I don't know, man. For me, I don't, you know, we've spoken about this before, you know, the Elite stuff overshadowing things, and maybe they've made that conscious decision not to put it last. But
yeah,
for me, I don't know. This is such a big story, a big development. My concern, and I think I put it in the group earlier, that my concern was this a bit too quick, like for Hangman and them to obviously not reunite, but as good as. And I don't know, I feel like the Adam Cole stuff just kind of came out of nowhere. Like I feel like it's been a bit rushed. Like, and obviously, you know, the non-casual fans are diehards, if you will. We know that obviously the Young Bucks tried to kill Adam Cole. Or did kill Adam Cole, and I can only imagine that's what he's alluding to when he was saying, "Don't think I forgot." My other concern is, you know, the casual fans won't know that, so why? You know, unless it's a different reason, and he's going to explain that next week, and that's, you know, we'll have Adam Cole out next week with another story time. But yeah, my concern was it was a bit too quick, but. On the other side of it, we've had the discussion where, you know, we want this trios stuff to move now so that we get, you know, really nice long build tournament towards All Out, and, you know, we're getting closer and closer every day to that pay-per-view. So it's, yeah, good and bad. I think, you know, wasn't built up enough necessarily this particular moment.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, the Elite, Undisputed Elite are back on TV next week. It was a bit of a shock, which is good and bad. Like, that little kid was clearly shocked, crying in the crowd.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. There was just something nice and wholesome about Hangman coming to save him. Like, I don't know. This is going to sound like wet, yeah. But I was watching it like this morning at work, and you know, you can sense someone's going to make the save, and I literally shut my eyes and then like waited for the Hangman drop, and I just opened them, and I was like, sick. Like, I was just like, it's just nice, it's wholesome for, you know, Hangman and the Bucks to. I'm a big fan of any kind of Elite woven story that they tell. So any more developments in that realm. The one thing I would say as well, I did see someone tweet earlier saying, this is all well and good until Kenny comes back and takes the Bucks from Hangman again, which could be a way they go.
Yeah. For me, like, okay, my negative, I guess you've pretty much said it, is just that this all happened a bit too quickly. It was all last week. Oh, hurrah, the Undisputed Elite are back. And then, you know, literally within less than 5 minutes of them being back, everything came burning to the ground. And for me, like, okay, fair enough. It's all in the name of this trio stuff. And they're going to be, I guess, the heavy story that's kind of moving within this whole trios division, if you like. The good was the Hangman pop, Hangman coming to save it, kind of excelling that story. So for me, I don't actually think that side of the story was, you know, I think it was fine where it happened. I don't think Hangman.
It was the Adam Cole turn that you think
was the turn that was a bit like maybe that could
sudden.
Yeah, they could have played out a bit more. Like, I saw, obviously, BTE. Let me be honest. I saw BTE until Peter Avalon came on and started doing some singing stuff, and then I just turned it off. So yeah, I saw obviously Adam Cole reminiscing and watching the video back, and you can see the wheels are turning in it. But Hangman, for me, like in the last 2-3 years, he may just be the best character in wrestling. I'm not saying he's the best wrestler, like, or anything like that. In terms of a TV character, this guy might just be the best TV character in wrestling in the last 3 years since AEW's inception. Like,
I hear it.
How he even plays his role and everything, like, it's as if he's an actor. Sort
yeah,
of
man.
thing. Like,
but even like just that subtle, like he runs to the ring, clears house, and that subtle like look behind, and do you know what I mean? Just holding those moments. Obviously, you know, he's a veteran, not veteran, but he's been in the game for a while, so those things are embedded in him in terms of wrestling. But yeah, he's just how he reacts to things are just always spot on, man. And for him to just shake the hand and bop off, like, all right, Hangman, you do your thing, bro.
Yeah, he's very good. And yeah, my overall little prediction from this is that, I don't think it will happen, but like you were saying, if Hangman is getting in there and thinking, oh yeah, that, you know, I can be the last man for their trios team, and then Kenny comes back and Kenny takes that position, it's not Hangman, and then it's all like, oh yeah, no worries, yeah, like you and Kenny, and yeah, you guys are friends, that's fine, like, and it gets a little bit awkward. But I don't think Kenny's gonna make it back by then.
I still think, like I had kind of fantasy booked last week, that Hangman maybe gets taken out by the Undisputed Elite, and they, you know, a man down, and that's where Kenny's, you know, makes the save, you know, maybe surprise it all out or something. Victor Punk, DM me, find me on Twitter, because I will forget. I don't remember where the shirt came from, but DM me, find me on Twitter, and I'll send you a link.
Man, loving the drip. Yeah, yeah, I think All Out's going to be mad, especially around this storyline. I think, you know, last year All Out was crazy with the debuts and that. I think we're getting Omega back. I think we may be getting Punk back as well. Like, I think that's the same way they're going to do it. They're going to load it with just, you know, oh my God moments, basically, which I'm looking forward to, as long as it all makes sense and it's not just, you know, let's just pop these guys on the night sort of thing. Like, so
yeah, I'm to sum up that whole segment, I'm somewhere in between. Yes, let's get the developments going for this trios tournament. Find it, you know, we need to push on, and like you said, was it a bit sudden? I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah, it was. Right, let's move on to the second one. I think this is one of my choices. What we learned from Dynamite. Stokely Hathaway is yet to prove his.
What a way to put it.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm watching this guy, and obviously, you know, truth be told, before he even got to AEW, we were saying, oh, what a great pairing he would be with Jade Cargill. Lo and behold, we got it. And what is it done? What is it done? Like, he was with Jade for a bit and the baddies, and then Red Velvet's got injured, and then it's like, okay, I'm bringing in Layla Gray. Jade hasn't really liked Layla Gray. He's been trying to get her in, and then it's like, no, she's not in. Then we've seen him try to recruit, I think, Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty for sure, and on this episode, Ethan Page. You said you're a publicist, like, and I know these are all kind of funny words and different ways to just say this is someone's manager, but like, I don't understand. Like, you haven't made an impact in any one of these to then say, let me try this with more people, or the company say, like, you're a really good talker, like you've elevated this person's career, elevate everyone else's.
Yeah, like what's Ethan, like, why would Ethan Page join him? Like, what's your CV saying for AEW? The problem is Jade stocks were already through the roof. So Stokely does add something in terms of like, just like his wittiness, and he's a funny character to have on TV. And like, I think that's a good addition, like, to Jade's like character and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I would say maybe you need to kind of hold out and have a bit more patience, because we haven't actually seen him join anyone that needs elevating yet. Because, you know, we're still waiting for the Lee Moriarty partnership. And obviously Ethan Page. And with Ethan Page, though, it's going to tie in. He's out there going, I'm not on TV every week, which we know he isn't. And if Stokely now joins him and we do see him even at TV a bit more regularly, then we know there's in kayfabe he's done something.
I mean, yeah, if it means Ethan Page is going to get like a run on TV or something, then fair enough. But like as a talker, Ethan Page doesn't need him.
Yeah, that's what I thought instantly, to be fair. Why?
Like, maybe Moriarty, that might be a better fit or the best fit of the whole three, including Jade. Because even Jade, I wouldn't even say he's added any. I know it's been only when did he debut? Revolution? Or Forbidden? No, it wasn't Forbidden Door. It was before Forbidden Door, isn't it? Revolution.
Must have been. I can't even remember.
Whatever that pay-per-view was when Athena and all them. I think that's when he debuted. Yeah, it was Revolution, the same night as Regal came. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, it sounds
that's right. I think first week of March, maybe. And he ain't added nothing. If anything, I've been saying this for a minute. I think Jade is in decline right now. Like, I don't think the baddies have added anything for her. They haven't caused any harm, but I don't think they've added anything to the act. Like, Jade isn't really doing anything. Maybe it's them wanting to focus more on the women's world title and less so because the TBS title became too big. I don't know what it is, but he is supposed to be there to add something to her, especially someone that is so green, someone that is, he's someone that's a load more experienced than her. And
unless he was brought in because Jade's stocks were so high, maybe do you know what I mean, to elevate him and make him. That might have been the thinking, possibly.
Has that happened for you? Has he been elevated?
In terms of being on AEW, I feel he is slightly more important because he's alongside Jade. Jade's a star, mega star, and I think some of that has rubbed off on him. And obviously, he does need to prove his worth. The problem is as well, like, I'm very biased in terms of managers. Like, I love when you just have a manager and he's just got all these clients, like the Heenan family or Ted DiBiase back in the day, where, do you know what I mean? They've just got like a stable of, not necessarily a faction, but they're just like
different
a manager
clients,
for a lot of, So I'm a fan of it, but I do agree we need to obviously see him proves his worth.
But when that happens, that's usually when, right, they've proved their worth with one person, and then usually upper management are like, okay, cool, you can help this person, you can help that person, and it's like, cool. But for me, like, I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability. We know he does. He just hasn't. And I feel like, I'm pretty sure it was Revolution, and that's why I'm going to make this comparison. And I know it might be a bit unjust, but he debuted on the same night as Regal. I'm pretty sure it was both Revolution, and you can see what Regal has done. And yes, the wealth of experience is much different and all of that stuff, but you can see the difference is night and day. So this is why I'm thinking like when I literally saw him behind Ethan Page, and it was only on Friday when he recruited Moriarty, I was literally like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're here stalking, man. Like, what is this? Like, it doesn't really make sense, because more for me, he hasn't done one person, justice, let alone all these other people that they're now looking at. And it's almost like same way that Smart Mark Sterling was going. Like, he was with Jade, then he started doing more of his lawyer stuff. You see him with MJF, you see him with Tony Nese, and it's like,
I don't mind it too much with Mark Sterling if he can just be like a floating lawyer and called upon when needed with certain acts, but
it's different.
Ethan Page, I think, is just a weird one. I honestly don't think they know what to do with him. He is talented, and don't get me wrong, like, he can work and he's got like good promo on him, but I honestly don't think he fits anywhere in AEW. Like, and I don't want to compare him to other acts, but we've got the cocky, charismatic people. We've got Ricky Starks. Maybe we've got MJF, I don't know, but I just feel like there's not really space for Ethan Page on this show at all. I honestly think it was a mistake signing him. Like, and even putting Dan Lambert with him was strange to begin with, because like you said, he doesn't need a mouthpiece. Ethan Page can talk for himself, and hasn't been, unfortunately, because they've given him Lambert or whoever. And I honestly just think they just don't know what to do with Ethan Page, man. And I don't see no space for him.
Big up everyone in the live chat. Appreciate you guys coming in. Hit the like button. subscribe, all that good stuff. Sam asks, what happened to Dan Lambert? Which is a good question.
I do think, I'm sure they did comment on it. I'm sure commentary made some kind of comment about it, but okay. I can't recall what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. And also Cameron says here, they're doing the same thing what Smart Mark Sterling was doing. I just think a manager just needs to focus on Jade and that's it. Yeah,
if she needs one though.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly another point. If she needs a manager, which is in the air, I'm not really sure if she really does at this point, because like you said, she's a star. She does talk very well. Then yeah, with one person.
The only benefit I can see, is if it's kind of a long-term deal where Jade has that kind of mentality where she's just, she's just a dick to people, like cut the shit, Tony. And if she could maybe just like lean on Stoke, like she was the same with Mark Sterling, like she wasn't like kind to him.
Yeah.
Like if she could just maybe keep doing that with Stokely to the point where Stokely then has to find someone to go against Jade and represent them instead, then yeah, I'm cool with that. But at the moment, like you said, does he add value to Jade, or is it the case where they have made the conscious decision that Jade is there to add value to Stokely?
Which is weird. Like, you don't usually put a manager with someone and
you
start to big up the manager. You see what I mean? It's usually the other way around. But yeah, I think Ola's commented here in regards to your MJF. Where is he? Is he in AEW or not?
Bro, he hasn't tweeted. I checked today. He ain't tweeted since May. Like, he's gone. He's disappeared off the edge of the earth.
I'm pretty sure I saw some report today saying that he hasn't even been in contact with the office. Like, he's not left the company, but he's just not in contact with them at all.
Bro, if this is a work, not a work, but if they can make it into work, and he just if he just pops up randomly someday, oh my god, it's gonna be mad.
Yeah,
but who knows?
It's very interesting. Like, even with, I mean, but I've got a point on Tony Khan, which I guess we can talk about this when we get there. So I'll save it for then. But yeah, ultimately, Stokely Hathaway, we know you've got more and better in the locker, but I don't know. Right now, it's a bit here, there, and everywhere. And for the time you've been, he was on NXT TV and was kind of made his impact straight away. Like,
but they were younger talents as well.
But they messed him about because they kept firing his talents, like, as they do. They gave him someone, they fired him. They gave him someone else, they fired. Like, so until he said that, I'm leaving, sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but
they just need to find the right pairing for him, because Stokely he's brilliant. Like, he's so good. Like, if they can find the right person to pair him with, then you're printing money. But I just don't think they found. He will add value. I have no doubt he will add value. It's just who with, and I think not necessarily Ethan Page, but Lee Moriarty will probably be a good indication of what he can do.
Yeah, a good fit. Cool. Let's go on to the third thing that we learned from AEW Dynamite last night, and that is that Team Taz has come to an end. Powerhouse Hobs, and this was said by Taz, that Hook, Powerhouse Hobs, Starks, they're all going to go their own way. We saw Powerhouse Hobs put on a dominant display. He had a match. And straight afterwards, we saw Ricky Starks come out. The camera work when Ricky Starks came out was making me laugh, because Ricky Starks bolted past the camera. Like, they hardly caught him as he came out the tunnel, or he was just going that quick. And he got in.
Because you're right, because his music hit, and then you couldn't see him like come into the ring, and I thought, he's gonna like get him from behind or whatever. Pause, and then he just appeared in the ring. I was like, there he is.
Bruv, he was like a smudge going past the camera. Like, they didn't do their job in kind of following him either with the camera, but
makes it better though.
I thought it worked good. Like, and because it's Ricky Starks, he can work as a good piece of comedy as well. But yeah, he literally got in the ring, started scrapping with like Sam says, Powerhouse Hobs. And yeah, then the move with the thing with the referee absolutely smashed. It was Ricky Starks that pushed the referee out of the way, right? And then yeah, he just ran straight into Hobbs, and Hobbs got him up and gave him that spine buster that gets like more and more devastated every week. You see it, like
clean, bro.
It's very cold. I don't know if the enforcer taught him how to do that one, because it's a proper spine buster, honestly. And he's being positioned well. Like, he's now got a win outside of this whole story. Like, so maybe if they want to use the rankings here and there, I don't know how tied to that they are anymore, that he can rock up some wins, challenge someone, whether it's TNT or, something like that. And Ricky Starks is obviously going to be the underdog in this story, fighting from underneath. Hook with the FTW championship. That's enough to kind of keep him cooking away for now. I think, but I think I tweeted this out, that Team Taz at the beginning, I just didn't get it. I was even more infuriated with the addition of the FTW championship. And I have to say it, the minute what's his face left, Brian Cage, everything just started clicking and making sense, and we still weren't seeing these guys enough on TV, and it was still frustrating because we knew the talent is there and is brewing away. Obviously, a lot was down to Ricky Starks. I think he had a neck injury, but as of the turn of the year, these men have been brilliant. So yeah, it's good to see a faction has kind of come apart, a tag team has come apart, and it's not like, who's the Jannetty here? Like, all of these men are firing, and now it's down to how AEW manage them, so they, have another good 6 months for the rest of the year.
Yeah, all their stocks have been risen, man. Like, I love the fact that, for one, that Taz addressed it, like, and like he didn't owe us anything in terms of that, but for him to just kind of give us closure and be like, look, because in the back of my mind, I was thinking, is Taz going to join Hobbs or this or that? But for him to just kind of close it off and go, look, Team Taz is no more. Big ups to all of them involved. Let's see what happens.
Man said, I'm done with shit.
Yeah, literally, he's had enough. But like Hobbs getting the middle entrance as well, like that. Man. Like that gassed me. I was already a big Hobbs fan, and like, because see this guy improve and grow every week, every month. And every time he comes out, I'm more of a fan of his. And he's just getting into his own more and more. Like, just him throwing the geezer around the ring and going, where's Ricky? Where's Ricky? Like, just giving the crowd shit. Like, he's just so good, man. He's such a good heel. Just him, the fate, like him snarling, like, it's just sick. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of Ricky and Hobbs. And I'm so glad that they've managed to kind of do this in a way where they're both still like prominent, and like you said, there's no Marty Jannetty's here. They're all Shawn Michaels, so it's good. Do you think Hook gets back involved in this at all, or do you think he's...
I don't think he needs to. I think Hook can obviously now just resurface when he needs to with the FTW championship. Like, he's not going to be on TV super often. Following, when he debuted, he was like on TV for like maybe 4 out of 6 weeks consecutively. And then obviously he's had a quiet periods here and there. Danhausen kind of brought him back to prominence a bit. Now it's like, when he needs to turn up, he's going to turn up as a champion. So he don't really need to turn up too much anyway, because he's kind of legitimized every time he does turn up now. So yeah, he can just keep cooking away, beating jabronis, whoever they may be, if it's just unsigned talent or just lower card guys in AEW. Racking up some wins for himself until, I think we were saying last week, until he wins maybe a TNT championship or an All Atlantic championship, or maybe even a tag team championship, and then he can say, right, I don't need to carry around this prop belt anymore. I've got an actual recognized title. So I think Hook is calm. It's these men that's in front of him that are a bit older. They're probably more looking for their time now and where they fit in the landscape of things now. This is
Hook's got years and years ahead.
Hook,
Like, there's no
Hook is
rush with Hook. Like,
at all.
you said, they're using him right sparingly. You know, he's like still a bit of a meme. Turns up here and there. Like, just give the spotlight to Ricky and Hobbs, man. I'm just so gassed, like, for them, because like they're legitimately two of my favorite wrestlers, like, on that roster, and I'm so glad to see their stocks like rising, both of them.
Yeah, they're very, very good. Very, very good. This is like, you're gonna get matches on All Out that aren't gonna be the championship matches. Like we were saying when we started, I'm not so much invested in Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara, but this is like a feud match that belongs on AEW All Out. Hobbs versus
and the build.
Hobbs.
And we've got a nice long build for this, man. And I think Tony was aware of that, man, because he made comments about last year, didn't he? Like how the build wasn't there, or I think it was about Revolution, maybe. Or All Out? No, I think it was All Out he commented on. But yeah, like, he's starting early, man. Like, we've got Christian Jungle Boy, we've got this match. Like, there's a few things building, and we've got time to let them breathe and marinate, which is sick.
Exactly. And I'm just gonna add, I don't think these guys have had... No, they had a pay-per-view match earlier this year, didn't they? At Revolution.
Yeah, the freeway.
As a tag, as the tag team. Yeah, but as singles, they probably haven't had any pay-per-view matches in AEW, have they?
Starks, maybe? No.
I can't imagine, because he was injured for so long. So yeah, anyway, it's a big opportunity for them. You know, they're telling good stories, likable guys. Like we say, we just hope they get the time to really show what they can do, and that there's a good plan there for them and how this is going to play out. So yeah, can't wait to see it. Right, move on to one of mine. This is the fourth thing that we learned from AEW Dynamite last night. And I phrased it like this, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I feel Tony Khan is paying attention more now than ever to WWE. For me, this was blatantly obvious with the outlay of the women's division last night, especially obviously what we saw, the tag match. The tag match was brilliant. The tag match between Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter was brilliant. Jamie Hayter was the MVP. Thunder Rosa made me laugh. I nearly choked on my cereal this morning. Her shirt said sandbagging. I don't know if anyone caught that.
Sandbagging since 2014 or 2004 or whatever it was. So good, man.
Sandbagging since 2014. So I think it was all very good. And they let the women go. They let them wrestle for a while. Now, for me, this isn't any coincidence. We've seen women's wrestling literally be put all over Monday Night Raw. There was big women's wrestling segments in SummerSlam. And of course, there's a new head honcho in charge in WWE. So I'm not saying this to start a war or anything like that, you know, but I feel like Tony Khan can now see, like, right, I need to maybe start doing stuff better, because if more than anything, they know that WWE is more invested in women's wrestling. And if you don't,
but they have been,
well,
they
have been. But I guess now the people at the top are definitely. Before, I would even argue Vince his hand was forced by Stephanie and Triple H probably to pay more attention to women's wrestling. Now they don't need to force anyone's hand; they're in charge. And like I said, through SummerSlam, through Monday Night Raw, we saw a lot more prominence of the women's division. So I think Tony now has to make sure he's treating the women in his roster right. So I don't need to start letting people go and begging people to stay and all of that kind of stuff. You know, they want to build a good women's division as well. They've got the talent for it. It's just about booking. Last night, I thought he done a very good job. If you're going to give them one match on the show, give them an extended period of time, show some of your best in the division. And I think he ticked all those boxes. I think he really got it right last night.
I personally disagree.
Okay. In terms of what?
I don't think necessarily. I certainly think he is definitely concerned with WWE, but I don't think necessarily that's changed anything he was gonna do on this Dynamite. This tag match was already booked before Bailey's stuff on Raw, which I actually watched, by the way, just for the Bailey segments. But yeah, I don't think necessarily that's had an effect. I personally think he knows there's been an issue and he's trying to address it. It seems like some kind of tag division has been forming for like the past month or so.
Yeah.
So not that that's gonna like change the world and make it better, but I don't think like specifically that, you know, he's gone, right, they're doing this, we need to sort the women out. I think that was already a focus, but he is definitely concerned and it's definitely on his mind. But I don't think the two necessarily have, you know, anything to do with each other personally.
Yeah, I mean, you say it was booked beforehand. It was supposed to happen. Fair enough, but I think even with the timings, especially, we see that these women don't tend to get an extended period, and they were allowed to really go last night. They were allowed to really wrestle. I just think it's like I say, it's not he shook or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I just think he should rightly be concerned. Ola's saying here in the chat that he's very slightly been rattled. Victor Punk says Tony's concerned now Triple H is back and AEW has someone to be the coach for the women's division, which we'll get onto. So basically, I just think Tony is the one that has always seen himself as competition to WWE. WWE always say, oh, no, they're not competition. Tony said we are competition. So now it would be silly for Tony, if he really deems himself as competition, to not be concerned with someone that is deemed to be a better booker in charge of the show. So that's all I think this is. You know, he's obviously heard other concerns that's happening in the company with the communication issues. He's got a whole new team handling that and stuff like that. Another new recruit he's made, which we'll get onto. But yeah, I just feel like even with the women's division, the tag team division, I don't think it's something they should necessarily pull the trigger on, because again, we've got I don't feel there's time they're not going to dedicate the time across the 3 hours they have a week to really, you know, feed it. And then I'm not sure if you put people into tag teams and stuff like that, how many people are going to be left in the actual women's division or the TBS division?
All elite women, though, whatever that is going to be, it may.
Did they say that's a show? It's a show that they're planning.
I'm not sure. Is it a reality show? Is that what's been confirmed, or is that just what people are speculating?
I thought it was like a 1 hour like TV show, like 205 Live, but like for women, like just another show. That was my understanding.
But maybe that's what will make space for the women's division, or the tag division. Sorry, I don't even like this Thunderstorm. You know me, I just don't like.
I hate Thunderstorms.
I like, fair play to them, great work. Like the match was brilliant, but women or men, like I just don't like just random teams being thrown together and being given a silly name. Hater and Britt, which I get, obviously they need someone to be fighting against and stuff, but what a match. Jamie Hayter is so good, man. Like I can't wait for her to like position herself above Britt Baker eventually. And, you know, obviously she's now got a title opportunity, which is great to see her actually being a contender. And maybe this is where we start really seeing the cracks form between Hayter and Britt next week. Maybe Britt costs her the match. I don't know, but I feel like maybe something's coming. But then they've just got matching gear made, like, so I'm a bit torn.
And the gear sick.
What's going to happen? Yeah,
I think
very, very Cody though, isn't it? Do you think they look like
very Homelander?
Cosplaying Cody.
Yeah.
Shout out Cody, man. Come back soon, Cody, man. I miss you.
I said I miss you. Yeah, man. This was very good. It was good to see, but I can't help but think we've seen these peaks in the women's division before. I'm thinking like February last year, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in that fantastic match on Dynamite, St. Paddy's Day, I think it was. We've seen these peaks and troughs. So they have to follow through. Next week can't be some nonsense now, or some cut down stuff. Like, you can't just give us this week and then give us something week the following week. You got to be a bit more consistent with this division because it's got a lot of potential.
Tony's bloody batty splash or whatever like you want to call it, man, that thing looks lethal, man. She hit one on Britt, and I don't know how you can make that look so. I don't know how you can make that safe when it looks so dangerous, man.
One
especially Tony running at you as well, man.
Literally.
Like
that big surface area. Let me just put it like that. Corner to corner, hip attack. Like, I said, yo, listen.
Tag me in. I said.
Tag me in. Cool. All right. We have one more thing that we learned, which does tie to this last point we made. Guys, I appreciate you guys for being here live. Hit the like button and all of that stuff, please. Let's get into this last one. Something that Gigi mentioned. Madison Rain, we learned that she's set to debut on Rampage. She's now in the company. Am I right? She's going to be doing some coaching work, I think I saw as well.
Yeah, that's what I think her role is, but they're obviously going to get some use out of her. And what a better way to coach people than in the ring, I guess, as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I've known about Madison Rain from her period in Ring of Honor. Is there anything you want to kind of add to let the people know a bit about Madison Rain if they don't know
her? Very strong competitor. Very she's seasoned. She's been about for a long time. Like going back to Impact days, beautiful people. But yeah, just like a kind of a mainstay in the women's division of like Ring of Honor and Impact and stuff like that. She's been in Impact for years and years. I think she was even there quite recently before. Obviously now signing to AEW. So I personally don't know in terms of her coaching acumen and what she can offer to that role specifically. But they're obviously conscious. They're bringing in people to help with that kind of stuff. I think Deeb was kind of coaching as well, wasn't she? I think that's what she's been known for. So I'm not sure. Maybe they just need like extra support. The women's division's grown substantially with the likes of Willow, Athena, and other people coming in. So maybe that's why they just need an extra pair of hands. But yeah, I'm not personally aware of kind of anyone that's maybe been coached by her that could vouch for what her skills are. But it's obviously a good thing. We've always wanted attention for the women's division. It's always been the division that's been lacking. So it's just a good sign, really, for them to bring in an extra pair of hands to support the ladies, and hopefully it helps things along, man.
Yeah. Ola says here, I think I read that she might wrestle as well. Yeah, that seems to be the thing. She's making her debut on Friday, or she's made her debut. It's going to play on Friday. So, she's definitely going to be in the ring sometime as well. Like you mentioned, that Serena Deeb deal where it's like coaching and wrestling.
I think they're going to put her against Jade straight away, from what I've heard.
Okay.
That
was a Rampage match.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been recorded or maybe they're building to that, but Jade's obviously got an open challenge, and obviously Madison Rain's debuting. And I think they had an altercation on Elevation or something, I read, because Rain was on commentary or something like that. So it looks like
So maybe Rain makes her debut at Rampage against someone else, wins, because I think Jade's open challenge is on Dynamite next week.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
I think so. So yeah, maybe then she comes out and my thing here is she's a veteran, very good. If she's been brought in as part of maybe the talent relations team as well, where this new team they've announced as maybe just a woman to be there as well in the team, cool, fair enough, fine. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't think AEW's women's division coaching and talent and in-ring talent is necessarily the issue. It's been the booking. So not to say she can't offer anything. People can always get better and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want this division to do so well, like that. I just feel like I see that, or she's been brought in as a coach. It's like they don't need a coach. Like
the women are talented.
Yeah, there's literally women there that can go. and they are open to work with Stardom. They are open to work with Impact. You know, the women's division that is in Ring of Honor. Like, they don't necessarily need to even hone in. They can leave everyone else that's still inexperienced in, you know, Nightmare, what do you call it, Nightmare Factory and Dustin's school and stuff like that. So look, it's an experienced name that can come in and teach people and take losses and all of that kind of stuff. But more than anything,
I mean, maybe, you know, she can. I don't really know how she's looked at by her peers, but, you know, maybe she's someone that could help maybe push the women's division in terms of, look, these are my guys, put them on TV more, like a voice for them. Maybe, I don't know like enough about Madison Rain, but that could only, I think in that terms, it could possibly help because she's a name that's come in as well. You know, maybe she's got a bit of pull backstage possibly that she could
maybe.
So, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. But I think that obviously, just because you mentioned it, you know, them bringing in a team like for, you know, a few more heads in talent relations, I think is a very good move. We've seen the reports that is, you know, certainly been lacking with, you know, the Jonathan Greshams of the world and other people that have spoken out about it. So I'm glad that that's being addressed straight away. He's reacted. And, you know, we can see that he's trying to make improvements there because that was obviously a real concern for people that are aware of these issues. So that can only help. And hopefully that, you know, for the talent, you know, you just want the talent to be looked after and heard and stuff. Yeah. So he is listening and, you know, he's addressing these issues that he's got.
It's been it's the last 2 weeks of wrestling with all the Vince stuff and now the new team that's in charge. And then on the other side, we've seen that, you know, I've seen interviews and stuff where Tony Khan is saying, you know, now more than ever, he's concerned that people will leave AEW for WWE. Everyone that has ever made that jump, the story has always been the same. Their time in NXT was brilliant. Their time on the main roster was ball bags. And now the man that was in charge in NXT is running the entire company, basically. So the good stuff backstage between wrestlers, even wrestlers that haven't been to WWE, has been said. They know that under Triple H, you could have a good time. So yeah, there's stuff to be concerned with there. Same way.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do, man? We got Adam Cole 5 more years, bro. What are you gonna do?
You could.
Who else was it? Who else was it? I don't know who else it was he was talking about. But like, we got him signed till 2027, man. Come at me, Hunter. Come at me, Paul.
There's a lot of talent, and yeah, I don't want to. Same way, we don't want to see a mass exodus of WWE, and they all end up at AEW. Then we're looking at each other like, when are you going to use this guy? When are you going to use this girl? We don't want a mass exodus the other way either, like, because it will create the exact same issue. But what is good is that, you know, now I feel like we've had it's a real competition is coming. Like, WWE is obviously the bigger company. AEW have been the better bookers and put together better shows and stuff like that. But now WWE are going to start clawing back, you know, that crowd, that attention. The style of wrestling is going to be different. The wrestlers, the presentation is going to be different. And more than anything, it's money. That's all most of this stuff comes down to. Some of these people be like, yeah, I can have a good time in AEW. I get to about 30, you know, my latter years. Let me go take the big payday in WWE. So yeah,
I think the most important thing, obviously, I know not to get into too WWE, but like we've said, shout out to Mary, the shackles are off. And I think that's that's the most important thing. Like, we've heard that, you know, like the likes of Drew was given a bit more leniency in terms of what he can do and go out and say. And I think that just gets like over like a bit more of a natural character on the product. And that's like A1 for me, like that these guys can feel that their creativity is being utilized and they can come up with stuff for their own characters and it will be heard. It's not all, no, do what I do or do what I say. That's the most important thing that's come out of the Triple H takeover for me, is that, you know, these talents can actually have a bit more freedom to not be themselves, but do what they want to do, you know, and have more creative freedom.
I was just on that point. I was listening to the Logan Paul Triple H podcast, and Logan Paul said, "I've got ideas for you," sort of thing. And Triple H's like, "Yeah, I need them. Like, I need to hear what you're saying and what everyone else is saying." So it's pretty much like the same AEW policy of coming and bringing ideas forward, and then seeing if they can kind of weave it into whatever the grander story is that needs to be told.
I'm not sure about this Logan Paul stuff,
I'm not really interested, but he put on a really good performance. But I'm not really for him like that.
But I don't know how to say this, but has he made it look too easy? Do you know what I mean? In terms of, there's people out here that have worked at this stuff, for years, and I know I get the business best for business. He's got a big name, and he can add, and it's gonna do good numbers for WWE. But my concern is, like,
has he pulled back the curtain too much? You think?
Yeah, and there's people that really have honed their craft for years and years and years that won't get this opportunity. And there were certain things I've watched a little bit of the podcast that he was saying that I thought were a bit too, like you just said, like pulling the curtain back, like, when I was doing this stunt, and he didn't even know what a turnbuckle was called. And it's come on, man, like, we love this thing, give it a bit more respect, like,
it's the reverence. You're right, it's the reverence, and not treating it like you're literally doing some type of theater performance, some gymnastics routine. But in terms of his performance, I felt he was a natural because he is genuinely an athlete. Like,
and I respect that.
And got himself into that position. It's pretty much the same we see with, there's people, obviously there's the likes of Kurt Angles, the Brock Lesnar's that were wrestlers of some level before. Bianca Belair, athlete, and just came and took to this like water. But obviously she was trained into the business, so she don't come out and use the same kind of language and stunts and all of that stuff like he is. So that's why he's got on. But I don't think we're going to see much of him apart from when it's time to really sell out shows and make that mega money on their big shows. But back to AEW, off on a tangent there. Victor says that it was Adam Cole and Malachi Black that Tony Khan was saying that he's got under chain and lock until 2027. Ollers Gaming says, can Triple H buy MJF out of his contract?
He got the money. The stocks are up.
Buying him out of his contract. The thing is, if he does that, that's like a straight immediate push in WWE. Because it's like breaking someone out of prison, ultimately. Not to say AEW's prison, but it's like
we're going to see the vignette the other way. MJF in the prison. Nah, I can't.
In the straight jacket and everything. Like, because that is literally breaking someone out of prison. So you must have to spend that kind of money, and admittedly, it may not be big money for WWE, especially because MJF is the whole issue is because he's not getting paid big money. I don't think it's something they'll do. I think they'll rather just wait for him to end the contract.
They need to. They should do it.
To buy him out.
Tomorrow. Yeah, bro. Tomorrow. MJF, are you mad? Like, but like you said, just to have the story, or not the story, but for the report to be WWE have bought this contract out from AEW. Like, that's a power move. That's a power move. If they just wait till 2024, that's not a power move, bro. And who knows? That's what, 2 years away. What's going to happen with MJF? Is he's going to sit at home till then, going stale? Nah, man. Buy his contract tomorrow. Get on the phone to Tony now. Like, I don't want him to leave, but come on, man. Imagine that. And it's just that. Where's he come from? Who is this? WWE have had to buy someone. He's clearly a big deal. Like, it just makes sense.
Listen, it's a fantastic idea. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if WWE will do that. I feel like, especially with this change of regime, Triple H might want to, settle into the job for a minute, use the guys that have been underutilized or misused and all of that kind of stuff before he starts making real power moves, just as you said, because that's exactly what it is. It's a power move.
Let's get Sasha and Naomi back first, innit? Then
that's a priority. But I would love for something like that to happen. We need that kind of stuff in wrestling, because that's almost like a sports transfer, like trading between teams.
Literally,
That stuff is missing from this. It would be great, but I just can't see it happening. But it's a great idea. Daz Reynolds says, "Hi, what's your opinion on the Bucks?"
Best tag team in the world. Best tag
we know
team
GT's,
in the world. Best tag team of all time.
Could WWE sign the Bucks?
No. They could have. They missed their chance because Tony came in with a big bag of money and creative freedom and a less schedule. Like, it's not happening unless it's a one-time deal that they've got a good rapport with Hunter. They've had dealings with him before. They've openly said like he's a good dude and they would gladly do business with him. Yeah. So if they could work out a little one-time deal and we get the Elite, New Day, or whatever we want to do, then brilliant. But nah, they've built AEW from the ground up with Tony. So that's their baby, man. Not signing to WWE, never.
You're right. But Cody left.
Cody's different, man. Cody's an anomaly.
Slightly different, I agree, but
I hear it. I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, we wouldn't have said, we wouldn't have expected that. Fred Wright says Tony Khan's ego won't allow that to happen. I guess in terms of the buying of MJF's contract. Yeah, I don't think Tony would let that happen. Tony hasn't even released Gresham from his contract, as everyone thought. You should
but he might be doing damage control and begging to him, man. You don't know what's going on. We don't know. He might have called Gresham the next day and be like, look, I'm sorry, I've let you, like, do you know what I mean? These are things we're not going to know that could have gone on.
That's true. But he could be doing controlling the situation. He could definitely be doing that 100%.
Which Gresham deserves as well. Like, let's not, Gresham deserves for Tony to get on his hands and knees, pause, and beg him and be like, look, you're a brilliant talent. Like, we didn't know what we had. I should have made a bigger deal of you. Please come back. We'll give you this, or, whatever we need to do to make this right. Let's do it and work this out because you're a brilliant talent and it's a shame to lose you. But it depends what the relationship is like with MJF and Tony, man. We just don't know, man. It's gone so silent and Tony refused to comment on it. So if Triple H comes in and goes, oh, what? Do you want me to grab him off you? You can have all this money. Oh, yeah, have him. He's doing my head in. Like, you just don't know.
You said that so casually, like, oh, yeah, no, but, doing my head in.
It could be, though, man. Like, he's a pain in my side. And furthermore, I don't even know what MJF's relationship was like with the rest of the roster, man. Like, who really knows? He could have been, do you know what I mean? Like, angering some people and like
for that kind of money conversation, you have to like ruffle feathers and you're basically drawing people out. How can this man be getting paid this and I'm getting paid this and I'm the draw? Like, so yeah, it would leave you in a bit of a situation with your colleagues because there's no way you have this conversation about money without bringing up what you're doing and what others are doing or what they're not doing, sort of thing. So
we've all been there.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's facts. So, it's a situation, that's for sure. Ola's Gaming, only at Impossible Door. I guess this is the Bucks going to WWE. I mean, if there's any kind of crossover or anything, if that's ever gonna happen, this is the time where with the likes of Triple H in charge.
Who coined that phrase, man? Was it Ola? Someone, one of us.
I think it was NK.
NK.
Yeah. So I think NK said the Impossible Door.
Yeah. If that ever comes up, man, NK is in for a payday, man.
Yeah. But guys, that is 5 things we learnt from AEW Dynamite this past week. Good show in general. I guess we have a few things to look forward to. The Trios title. Still no, I guess, real action as to when that's going to start or the brackets for it. Maybe sometime next week we'll learn more about that. If they're going to crown the winner at All Out, they've got to let us know sooner rather than later. And like we say, the women's division looking up. But the headline story, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, they have left the Undisputed Elite. They're just going to be whatever they're going to call themselves. And the Elite are their own thing. And Hangman is, flirting with the idea of hooking back up with his mates, maybe for the tournament, maybe for longer. The idea of Kenny Omega coming back is hanging over everyone's shoulder as well. We're in for a good time as we coming in for All Out, man. In for a good time. Gigi, any last words on the show before we get out of here?
Big up Trent and Chucky for that spot. I know you didn't like it. I know what you said earlier, but I popped for it, man. Like,
you know what?
It's not that I didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just know if that was WWE, they'll get heat for that from fans.
It depends how they do it, man. Like Trent and Chuck have like owned this character where they are just silly and can get away with stuff like that. WWE are the type of person to put fucking Omos and someone else, like Omos and I don't know, someone else serious in a big jacket and have them chase Akira Tozawa for the 24/7 title. Like, it makes sense, and it was just hilarious. And like, do you know what? Jay Lethal getting a win over Orange Cassidy is a big deal, man. Like, it is a big deal. And I know we were all kind of worried about Jay Lethal's on Rampage. Jay Lethal's on this.
No,
Jay Lethal's on Elevation. Elevation or whatever he was doing. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Sometimes the roster's so big, we have to be patient sometimes and just wait for, you know, a gap to appear and for someone else to get their moment and then someone else to get their moment. And yeah, that was a big deal, man.
Yeah, it was good to see, and it was a good match. And yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to just place Jay Lethal into having a match with Wardlow for the TNT title. And yeah, he's not going to win. Ola's
Don't ask me, bro.
Just deep to where's Omos? Bro, Triple H. He said, Triple H said, cut this shit. Like, he was on Main Event, I think, last week or so. So yeah, he's went from being on TV.
Work rate's back in WWE. The W in WWE stands for work rate. They got rid of Omos.
Work rate entertainment. Yeah, almost ain't there. The likes of all these dancing Shanky and all these man. Boy,
Triple H said, if you can't work a 40-minute Iron Man banger, you can't come on the show, man. Back to Main Event.
He's gonna have to find something to do with these man. But yeah, it ain't gonna be Raw and SmackDown anytime soon, I don't think. But yeah, Gigi, thanks for joining me today, bro. I appreciate it. Guys, like I said earlier, Gigi has his own channel, Gigi on Wrestling. It's down below in the description. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Subscribe to WrestleManiac UK as well. Hit the like button on this video. I appreciate that. And we will catch you same time next week. 5 things we learned about AEW Dynamite. See you later.